Good morning, everyone. My name is Pelz. I'm here to tell you just a little bit about my life. So one day I woke up and I realized I was not going to be able to make what I wanted to make in life and to provide for my family. So I made a choice. Let's back up a little bit here. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm a father of 3, happily married for 7 years now, and I live in Chicago. I was born and raised in a small little town in Champaign-Urbana. Some of you may know this as University of Illinois, home of the Fighting Illini. I grew up like most kids, busy outside, running around, playing, having a good time. But one thing that I didn't realize was I was going to be struggling in school my whole life. I was a C student. It was hard to listen. At one point I was diagnosed with ADHD. Saw a psychiatrist for a little bit, took some Ritalin. Most of those things didn't really do anything for me. So I decided from a very young age that college was not really going to be for me. I decided that it was just going to be a little too difficult. After failing test after test and quizzes after quizzes in high school and even grade school, I even went through first grade twice because I was so terrible at math and reading. But anyway, if you can relate to my story and you struggled through school, even thought about dropping out of school or not going to college, maybe you went to college and you dropped out. I personally went to 2 years of college so that I could just say that I went to college and be done with it. I probably got the easiest degree known to man. That's fire science technology. I would take night classes while I was working full-time so that I could pay my way through a community college. You may not be familiar with this, but I was actually working 4 jobs at one point, all trying to put my way through college. And I really thought that I would stay in Champaign and become most likely a firefighter, which I was trying to do, or a police officer. So, lo and behold, I find out that you have to take a test. A standard written test to get either on the police department, the fire department, most civil service jobs. So, I went out and I got some study books from Amazon, from eBay, wherever I can find them, some friends, and I tried to study my butt off to try and get to become a firefighter or a cop. It was extremely difficult. I studied a lot of time, worked a lot of time, and I also went to school. I was in the midst of all this, I was a volunteer fireman to try and kind of hone my firefighting skills. My dad hooked me up with a job that he got from one of his coworkers. So I was really excited about where I was going because I wanted to become a firefighter for pretty much my whole life. You could ask my best friend. We would visit the fire departments ever since we were probably 8 years old. On our bikes, we'd drive right around the fire department, wait till the doors open up and run inside and talk to the firefighters. And I don't know, it just felt awesome. When they had to call them, we were there. You'd see them slide down the pole. No joke, they would actually slide down the pole. So I knew my life was going down the right path. I was working a few different jobs, and I was actually trying to become a firefighter. So I was taking tests all over the place. But the problem is you had to be 21, and I was probably 19 or 20 at the time. So I couldn't get a lot of the jobs, but I would still test for them, and I would tell myself that I'd be in great physical condition because I didn't want to be one of those overweight firefighters. No offense, but I didn't. So I was running, I was working out with my friends, I was living in a house with all my buddies in college. They were going to full-time U of I, just doing school, and I was going full-time, or I would say part-time Parkland, taking my very, very sweet time going through college. It wasn't until I realized that this was going to be a bad path when I failed almost 7 different tests. When I say failed, I mean I didn't get above that average that you needed to get, that 70 or 75 mark on the test. I was always below that. Kind of indicative of that because on my ACT scores, I got either a 14, a 15, or the third time I took it, a 16. Most definitely way below all my other friends, and I was so ashamed to even tell my friends. I pretty much only told my best friend for the longest time, maybe a few other handful of people, but I wasn't announcing it like some of those others that got a 32 or 36 or however high the ACT goes. So I knew that this was going to be a very difficult path, and I was going to have to study. So I started studying really hard, but when I finally got to studying, I realized that I wasn't that good at studying. I didn't really know how to study because I'm not that very good at school. So I realized that this was going to be a difficult path. I wasn't going to pass any of these tests. I'm not sure what to do, so I pretty much gave up. I completely gave up, actually, on the firefighting realm, the structured fire department. I completely gave up. It wasn't until a very bad incident in my life that completely changed my life. And that's when my dad had a heart attack. I remember it vividly because I was actually filling out applications for an internship that allowed me to go as far as I possibly could from all my friends and family because, honestly, I was just ashamed of where I was going. I was just disappointed in the life that I was living, and I thought there was more out there that I wanted to be a part of. So I was actually applying for the Student Conservation Association, some internships that allowed you to get a red card. This is like the wildland firefighter certification that you can get to become wildland firefighter. So I was applying for these internships based off of a recommendation from a good friend of mine, Jack Carey. And while I was doing that, I get a call from my mom saying that Dad's in the hospital. He had a heart attack. Do you have someone that can drive you here, or did you want me to come pick you up? Now, I was only about 5 minutes away from the hospital, but I was in shock. I don't know if you've ever gotten that phone call, but it is not a good phone call to get. I was in complete disbelief, but pretty much I was just devastated. I know that I was crying uncontrollably, so I couldn't really do anything. The first thing that I thought of was to call my buddy. Call my best friend Blake. I call him up. I say, hey, I need your help. He just got back from the Iraq war, so he's like, all right, what do you need? I said, I need you to come pick me up. We need to go to the hospital. He's like, what do you mean? It's like, Dad just had a massive heart attack. So he picks me up. We head to the hospital. Find out that he was pretty much, his heart wasn't beating for a little while when he was in the ER, or he had a heart attack while he was in the ER. So he was up at the cath lab when I finally got there. So it was quick. Well, I find out that it's all right. He had a massive, artery blockage, so they had to put in a stent. But he's going to need, some major changes in his lifestyle. And that kind of hit me hard. That said, you know what? I think I need some major changes in my lifestyle. And luckily, I got that internship. It wasn't too long after that I got the call that I could go out west to Washington State and start my life. Start a different life. Start a life full of fun, adventure, meeting new people, meeting brand new people, just building relationships that I never thought I could build. So after that relationship, or after that event, I was able to go out to Washington State and start my wildland firefighter career. That was awesome. That's a whole nother story, but 3 years ago, I started telling you the story about what was happening in my life. So in 2009, I got done with firefighting. I married my girl, but I realized that I was a personal trainer at the time, and what I was making as a personal trainer was not going to cut it. So I decided to make a big decision, and what turns out to be one of the best decisions in my life was get in the network marketing world. That's right. to become a network marketer. I looked into insurance. I even started selling bands at one point. These bands that made you balance perfectly, just because you had a band on. Yeah, those went around for a little while in the sports, the fitness area. But yeah, that was a hoax. I believe they went out of business, went bankrupt, and asked for all their money back. So that was a bust. But I was determined that this network marketing thing could be a definite successful career if you just found the right market to be in, maybe even the right service to provide as well. Well, I was doing P90X at the time, so I started to jump in. Bam! It hit me. This program works. But then I started doing Insanity. Insanity was phenomenal. I jumped in using Insanity and never felt better. I lost about 15 pounds in 60 days. Didn't even know I had 15 pounds to lose, so that was fantastic. Once I lost that weight, I found out that there's basically a business inside of Insanity. It was called Team Beachbody. I jumped into Team Beachbody, and I was not excited about it because I didn't know what I was doing. And the guy that I jumped in with, he didn't know what he was doing either. So, needless to say, I did not do very well for the first year and a half. I didn't even build a business. I didn't really even think about it because I was too afraid to tell people that I was in it. That's how most network marketers start. Too afraid to tell people about what they're doing. Because why? You're afraid that people are going to say, that's a scam, that's a scheme, that's a pyramid scheme. I would get out, you're going to lose all your money. Well, eventually I started telling people. And eventually I started having success. I started bringing coaches on, started bringing other people on my team. I started helping more and more people with their fitness journey. Many more than I can help with personal training. Well, it wasn't just until too long ago that I decided to stay in that network marketing career. Today, in 2016, I've been in network marketing for almost 7 years, and I would never leave it. After so many people tell me to leave it and, go get a full-time career, go back to college, I'm never going to leave it. It's definitely the path to the greatest success, and I will find it. It's most definitely the path of least resistance. You don't have to spend $50,000 a year to learn about it. You only have to spend $500, or maybe even less than that, $250 or $140. You don't have to spend much to get into these. And let me tell you, it will open up your mind to the possibilities, to the endless possibilities that your dreams you once had. Sure, I had a dream of becoming a firefighter. I did not become a firefighter in the structural world, but I did become a firefighter in the forest. And that was challenging. That was tough. That was the most gruesome work that I've ever done. But this network marketing thing, this is going to help me help so many people. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're making $1 million a year in the business that you're at. You still want to get into network marketing. There's so many ways that you can prosper and help your family and help your friends, and even help acquaintances, people that you've never met yet. There's so many ways that you can help them in this industry. What I'm seeing more and more every day is I'm having conversations with people all the time. And they're different conversations about hobbies, about life, about debts, about school, about businesses, about work, about stress, about their health, about balance in life. What I'm seeing right now is that so many people are struggling in life, and they are afraid to reach out. They're afraid to talk to someone they just need to know that there's people out there that can help them. There's services out there that can help them. Just be willing to talk. Be willing to explore the possibilities out there. I'm not saying you got to jump into mine. No way. I'm just saying go talk to friends that are doing well and find out why they're doing well. And don't be afraid to try something that they've tried. Life is about failures. Success is about failures. In order to succeed, you have to fail over and over and over again. In order to succeed, you have to fail. Write that down. You think Michael Jordan went out and just became successful overnight? Oh no. He practiced hard. He practiced every day. It's like I heard Larry Bird, how he became the best shooter in all of NBA. Because he shot over 1,000 baskets every single day. 1,000 baskets every single day. Can you imagine that? Yeah. You think you'd miss a lot? I would think so. But eventually, you start making a lot more because you start to hone that craft. So yeah, I've talked to a lot of people. I've probably talked to 1,000 people, if not more. Maybe even 2,000. Some just don't even want to talk to me. But it's all about timing in life. But in order to find out that timing, you have to talk to a lot of people. You have to build relationships with people. Find out where they are in life. If it wasn't for network marketing, it wasn't for this career, this industry, I would not have so many good friends that I do today. I built so many awesome relationships, and I'm forever grateful for that. Some so that I've even been in weddings with. So, I'm just telling you today a little bit about my life. I can go into a lot more detail some other day, but talk to those around you. Talk to the people in your life. Just have an honest, open, truthful conversation with people. Tell them that you're struggling. Tell them that you're doing great. Tell them that you want to go on a vacation with your family that you haven't been able to afford in 5 years. Just be honest with them. Thank you for listening to my life. Maybe this helps you, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. It's so scary for me that I may not even, you may not even see this. But if you are seeing this and I do post it on YouTube, I wish you the best, man. I wish you the best. And if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have comments, I don't care if they're positive or negative, I take them all. I take them all with a grain of salt until I start to build a relationship with you. I start to trust you. And I start to honestly just feel good about where we're going. Me and you. That's right, me and you. So call me up, email me, message me below, anything. I want you to know that there is a better option out there for you. But you have to be willing to go out and get it. I know I did a few times now, and it's worked out every single time. So thank you for listening to my story. I'm Eric Pelz. I want to help you create a better life for yourself. So have a good life. Talk to you soon.